Hi everyone, it's Simmer Hills and I'm back in Willow Creek carrying on with my refresh of the community buildings that are along all one stretch of road. So we've already done the library and the gym, which is now a gym stroke spa, and today we're doing the nightclub, so we're going to give the nightclub a nice refresh. I thought the original build was a bit I wasn't keen on the front of this building, and also I don't know if you remember me saying in one of the other builds, but I wanted them all to be raised up because a couple of the buildings were raised up and then a couple were flat on the ground, whereas I wanted it to be standard across the board for this row of buildings. So I've raised the foundation just so that they're all alike. I think when you get streets of buildings, they tend to all be on foundations, or not, maybe not everywhere, but I just like it more standard. So I wanted them all on foundations, and I wanted to give this build more of a traditional nightclub feel because I felt like the way it was with the bar at the back and then the fireplace and stuff at the front, it was more like a pub than a nightclub. So I wanted to give it more of a distinct nightclub feel, and I think by the end of it you'll definitely get that that impression. So the back of the building on the ground floor, that is where the traditional nightclub type area is. So you've got the dance floor and like the spotlights in different colours. I think that's like the traditional nightclub that people would imagine as a nightclub. And then you've got the bar at the front, which was originally at the back, and there is some seating, but it's all bar stools, so it's definitely a lot more night out type of a look than what was there originally. I just felt like it was more like a pub, what was there originally. I do keep the piano and add a microphone because I thought sometimes at nightclubs they have like nights where they'll invite a special guest and have things on, so I thought that would be kind of a nice little idea to have in there. So I've still kept the piano and added a microphone, but we've got a dance floor and a bar, and we've also got what I would call an upstairs outside smoking area, but it's the little bongs they sit around, the Sims that they sit around them, but I think of it as like a smoking area. So I just think it's more realistic as a nightclub to look like this. So that's the kind of look I've gone for, and I've used these light up dance floors as well. The only thing is, if you look too closely, you can see like the mud underneath the ground, but it doesn't matter. Just ignore that. I mean, once it's dark and stuff, you don't really notice it anyway. But I just liked the idea of the glowing dance floor. I thought that looked really modern and it just fits with the look of this nightclub. I've also, behind the DJ booth, I have put an emergency exit just for extra realism, because you will always have them in buildings. And I've added some seating around the dance floor as well. I think there's a lot more here than there was originally. And nightclubs, they don't really have that many requirements. You know, you need seating. One thing is, the bar seating for some reason doesn't count in a nightclub, so I did have on the upstairs floor, I'd added some bar seating there as well, but because the seating didn't count, I had to change the seating upstairs to traditional tables with traditional chairs, because that's the only one that counted towards the seating requirement, which is a bit strange. You would think bar seating would fit the requirements, especially for a nightclub, so I'm not sure why it doesn't. But yeah, it's just one thing to bear in mind if you're gonna build a nightclub. For some reason, that kind of seating doesn't count. So we're on to the actual decorating of the exterior now, and I did spend quite a long time getting everything just right on this one. I think I spent quite a long time on the exterior decorations on this one, and I'm glad I did. I think by the end it looks like a really nice building, and I tried to match the roof more to the museum, so I used that kind of design for the roof on this one. The front does actually change a few times, so if you saw the thumbnail at the beginning, you'll realise that the front doesn't stay looking like it does in this image. And it's starting to come together, but it does change a few more times even from this. I just thought with a nightclub especially, you're not really needing the windows as much, because you want it dark for people dancing and for the bright lights and stuff, the coloured lights. So I didn't want this extra big window in the middle, and that ends up going eventually. And I thought really for a nightclub you want some decent branding, so I put branding quite a bit on the exterior of the building. So it's definitely got its own distinct look, this building, by the end. The windows that you can see at the front, I do end up putting big curtains over them on the inside, just so you're not getting that light through, because I wanted it to be as you imagine a nightclub. The only thing is, if you do a nightclub the way, especially they are in my town, a lot of them will not have windows. But if you build a building like that in The Sims, it's just not going to look right if you've got a building with no windows. So I wanted it to have windows, but I also didn't want them to let light in, which is why I put the big curtains over them. So they're not letting light in, but they are practical. This area is what becomes the smoking area, or the bubbles that The Sims have. So yeah, that bit becomes, I actually think that area looks quite nice at the end. It's probably a bit over decorated, to be honest, but I don't like to leave things too plain in The Sims because it can look a bit bland. But yeah, I think if it was realistic, it would be a bit plainer than I ended up decorating it. And I tried to have a distinct area in the middle, which was the seating area for the outdoor garden, and then there's some different coloured pavers around the outside, which you saw. The inside's pretty much coming together. These are the curtains I've used everywhere in the build, and that's because they just block out the light, so they're perfect for what I needed in this build. I can't remember which pack them curtains are from, but I do use them quite a bit actually. The doors for the toilets are from Spa Day. We've got a male and a female toilets, and just very basic toilet and a toilet roll in each stall, and then some sinks with I think the things I use are from Get to Work, with the hand wash that's attached to the wall. I just think that looks realistic for a community build. Like, you wouldn't have the soap on the side, for example. So I think the one from Get to Work is probably the most realistic for builds like this. And I think the sinks are from Spa Day as well. These ones are quite nice actually, because they look built in and very minimalist, like they'd be easy to clean. So yeah, I like to think about things realistically when I'm building. But I love those hand wash things. I think they're a great detail in the game. I just extended the balcony just so that we could fit some seating in on the upper floor. I thought maybe it could be one of those areas that you could have VIPs in, you know, like where it can be roped off and there's a VIP area. That's what I was imagining for the upstairs. I know it doesn't work like that in this, but it would be a nice idea. Like, you've got the VIPs who can go there. So that was what I was thinking with it. I don't know if you would use your storytelling like that in there, but that's how I imagined it. So yeah, this is the bar area. Don't worry, the floor doesn't stay like this. I was just trying different things. I wanted it to stand out, but I thought that stood out a bit too much. It looks a bit like crazy flooring. So, and especially with the bottles on the wall and stuff, you really don't need it to stand out that much. So I changed my mind on that, which I'm sure you're relieved about. It did look horrendous. But yeah, I just thought for a nightclub, let's try something different. The seating changes about 3 or 4 times. I don't know. You see, these booths are traditionally what you'd see in a nightclub, but I always think they look really oversized in The Sims compared to other furniture. I wish we had some of those that was just a little bit smaller. They really do look oversized compared to other furniture. So that's my only criticism, because I do like the idea of the seating that attaches to the walls, the booth seating, but for some reason they look so big in the game, like too big and chunky. So so this area at the front is where we get the bar tables and stools, and it's a nice little area where I suppose if your Sims are tired of dancing or they want to have a couple of drinks, they can come and sit down in this area. I know there's the seating near the dance floor as well, but this is where you could have conversation. You've got a table for your drinks. There's no tables near the seating near the dance floor. So I think this area is quite a nice little setup for Sims to come and, they can just mingle with whoever's on the lot. Hopefully find a Sim partner if they're single. Maybe, it's just an idea. But yeah, I like this little area. And like I say, if you want to have maybe someone who's famous, or you want to hire an entertainer, then you've got that option as well with the microphone and the piano there as well. So and I think the mood lighting in here is really nice, because you don't want it to be too bright with it being a nightclub. So I like to have the mood lighting, and I think all these little pieces that are lit up as well, they just really add to that kind of ambience. I think it's more nightclubby than it was originally. Let's put it like that. I did try loads of different seating options, but I had to go back to the chunkier ones. You see that other blue one, if it connected together and slotted together, that one would have been ideal with a high back, because it's just not as chunky, but it doesn't connect together properly like or even these. If these had just slotted together, these would have looked all right. But yeah, I had to go back to the booth ones, but they just don't look quite right. Yeah, I wish I had a better option, but I went with what we have. Yeah, I just changed it. I didn't realise how much I changed it, but I did change it a lot. And yeah, went back with what I had originally, but I think that's typical when you're building as well. It's good to show the process of like trying different options, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But yeah, with the seating, maybe custom content has got some better options, but I did try and make this just game related objects, so there's no custom content in there. I think one of the builds, I'm not sure if it's the gym, I think it's shown as it's tagged with custom content, but I'm not sure why. I don't know which object it is. I reckon it's probably something that's not really that essential, so if you do want to download it, you can still download it and it will just replace it with something similar, or it would be missing. But I can't even think what is in there that could be custom content, so if I've missed something, I apologise. I'm not sure why it's showing that, but I did want to mention that because I looked on the gallery and it is showing as custom content for some reason, but I'm not sure what's in it, so I can't even go back and re-upload it to show you what, without the custom content in, because I don't know what's in there that could be. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. But yeah, if any of these builds, if you want to download them, just check out my gallery, Simmer Hills on the Sims 4 gallery, and you can download any of the builds that are on there. If you do want to keep up to date with my future builds, then please like and hit the notification bell on this channel and subscribe, and you won't miss any of the future uploads. I have got the museum coming up, that's my next build, and then I'm going to pop back to Planet Zoo and have a go add in another habitat in the zoo that I've started there. So you can check those videos out there on a link. I've put all the Planet Zoo videos together and then the Sims 4 speed builds together, so you can check out, depending which game you're interested in, you can check out like the playlist on each game. I like to keep them separate just because I know some people are not interested in maybe Planet Zoo or The Sims, just depending which games you like. Some people like to just follow all games, and that's kind of what I'm like. I like to check out different games on people's channels. Cans is one that I really like. He tries different games, and it's nice. And sometimes you find out different games from doing that as well. Like Cans was playing one called Change, and I ended up really liking that. It's like a homeless simulation game, and it's challenging, and also it's really interesting. So yeah, I think sometimes that's how you find out about different games that you maybe wouldn't have looked at, and then you end up liking them. So yeah, like I say, I like to keep the playlists separate, but if you want to check out either or both, even better. Yeah, check out whichever ones you enjoy. So yeah, we've got to the outside area finally. We've got the little, I do keep coming back to this area to add a bit more detail into it, and like I say, I do think I probably went a little bit far on the detailing, but some people will probably think not far enough. But for realism, for a nightclub, I don't think you would have too much on the exterior. So yeah, this is this is what I went with anyway. I tried, when I was doing that, I was trying things in all different lighting as well, not just the daylight. So you get to see, I think they look really different on an evening to during the day, and it's nice to see the different way an area looks in different lighting as well. And on the night, I think with the lights on here as well, I just think it looks like a really inviting place to come. So it's quite a nice little area. They've definitely got on more areas to explore in this nightclub than they had originally, because there was the bar and like a couple of seats at the front and a fireplace. So now they've definitely got a lot more areas, and hopefully now there's more Sims coming to a lot for community lots, then it would be a nice place to hang out and meet different Sims on here. So I'm just hoping, I'm not sure how it works, because I know in the original nightclub you had teenagers come into it. It would be nice if it was only adults were allowed to come to these lots, and I'm not sure if that's something that does happen and it was just a weird thing that a teenager came to the original nightclub. But surely this should be only for adult Sims, and like no teenagers and children are allowed, because they shouldn't be. Just obvious. Shouldn't be allowed. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if that's a game mechanic or not, but yeah, really, they shouldn't be allowed. So the front's pretty much there as you'd have seen originally in the thumbnail at the beginning of the video. It's pretty much how it looks. We had some hedging around the little barriers, which was always my plan with it. I didn't want people walking around them. I just wanted some decoration, make the build stand out a little bit. And I also had some of this branding around the sides of the building as well. Maybe they're two different theme nights that they have at the club or something like that. Yeah, I think sometimes you do have that, or maybe it's the name of the nightclub and then a theme night as well that you've got with the branding on the side of the building. I know what I'm thinking, it's just not coming out properly. So yeah, we're nearly at the end of the video. We've got a couple more detailing bits to add, but yeah, how have you found this one? Do you like the final result of the nightclub, or do you prefer the original EA built nightclub, which I just found very, very plain. There wasn't much to it, so hopefully I've added a little bit more with this one. There is a bit more for Sims to do here. They don't just have to stand around talking. They've got the dance floor and everything now. You can hire a DJ, you can hire an entertainer. So yeah, I think there's a few more things for your Sims to do in this one than the original one. But let me know what you think, and if you do like this one, or if you've got any suggestions for future builds, then I'm always pleased to hear that. And just to know, I do change all the lighting colour on the front of this build to an orangey colour, just to give it that nightclub look. I think it looks a lot better with the coloured lighting. So I did change it to that, and I think it looks really nice during the evening. So yeah, that's the end of the build. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a good week. Bye.